Sorry, you actually assigned the conversation to me 2 hours ago, and I've been on demos and haven't called them back. So, and I'm on a demo right now. I'm waiting for them to show up. So, I'm just replying back to the friend pretending that we don't see his phone. Say we don't have anybody to reach, but that's why. I left it. Literally spent 2 hours with them asking questions. So, like, we don't want. My favorite part is in the middle of the sale, I asked for hold, and then anybody grab another phone. But we already talked about that. We want to hold and play the game. Use cards, card sales from all the way. Probably make $1 million direct call. Although we have to call them and verify it's the The rest of the sales. And the best is around. Hi, good afternoon.
Dryness. Perhaps even not only does your heart feel hollow, your bones feel hollow. gonna make everything about mine. There's just an emptiness of hollowness.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
I'm everyone. Oh, you can hear you. Yeah.
Hello? Hello, guys, can you hear me?
Don't bother me. Hello?
Hi, yeah, hello, can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, great, perfect. Excellent. And this is Caitlin, I assume?
Yes.
Yes, all right. Is it just going to be us today?
Yes.
Awesome. You can see my screen as well, I'm assuming?
Uh-huh.
Perfect. This is really just kind of an agenda of what we want to hit today. First thing really I like to do is pain points. Just kind of give me an idea of what you guys are doing, what you're looking for. Are you moving to a ServiceTitan Field Edge? Are you guys just looking to upgrade from doing paper tickets? Introduction we've already taken care of, and then really we'll jump right into it. We'll pull the iPad right up on the screen. We'll look at everything as your tech and customer will see it. Then we'll jump in the web portal. We'll look at how you guys do all your customization, all your behind-the-scenes stuff as well.
Okay.
So if you don't mind, just kind of give me a brief overview of what you guys have going on.
So we're too small for ServiceTitan, I think is what it's called. But we use a program that's very similar. It's pretty much the same exact thing. It just doesn't have quite as much features involved, and that's called House Call Pro.
Yep.
And we really like it. I really, really like it. One of the things it doesn't offer, though, are some of the things that I noticed with Profit Rhino, but I'm not interested in moving. I'm just kind of wondering how we can integrate.
Great question. We are actually working on that as we speak right now. If you go to the House Call Pro App Store, you will actually see Profit Rhino's app with an interest button.
Okay.
They are trying to gauge the interest and make sure they have enough interest on their side. And if so, we are going to bring some kind of either we're going to put the price book right inside your House Call Pro, or we're going to do an in-app integration where basically you're in House Call Pro. When you go to do your invoice, you hit a button, it's going to jump you automatically into the Profit Rhino app. You do all your pricing with Profit Rhino. When you send it to an invoice, it's going to send you right back around to House Call Pro and do the rest of your invoicing there.
Okay, so it sounds like I need to make sure they know that I want this then.
Absolutely, do that. We are getting an unprecedented amount of calls from you guys, House Call Pro customers, when I say you guys. So I definitely think it's something that's going to happen. The interest is going to be there.
Okay.
But again, just for full disclosure, it's not something that's been finalized, been put down on paper and ink yet.
Yeah, no, I got that.
Happily give you a tour around and show you everything that's in here, and what all we do with the upsells, cross sells, all that stuff. But again, I just for full disclosure want to make sure that we understand that this is still something that's in the works and probably not going to happen in the next week or two.
No, definitely. No, I get that. Although their engineers are pretty awesome over there. They can make some stuff happen.
I really, in the last few months, we've kind of been working on this, and I've really been checking their stuff out. Talked with some of the guys at one of their trade shows, and they do really have a pretty impressive platform, especially, honestly, for what they charge.
Yeah, no kidding.
Compared to ServiceTitan. I don't know if you got into the pricing on that, but
I have.
Yes, okay, so you know just what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So absolutely, and we'd love to get with them. They have an enormous user base as well. So obviously, we'd love to get a price book model in for you folks, from a business standpoint as well. So, like I said, absolutely, we can go in and kind of look around Profit Rhino, show you what it does, everything there. Again, I just like to be upfront before we get in anything what the current situation with them is.
Okay.
So cool. So let's jump in and take a look around and see what everything's going to do. You should see my iPad here pop up on the screen momentarily. And again, my iPad mirrored up here. This is exactly what the techs customers would see in the field on our Profit Rhino app. Again, it may be a little different when we get the House Call Pro integration all hammered out. But really here, nothing really to see here. Your logo, obviously we put your logo here.
Yeah, my two biggest things, and the reason for contacting you guys, my two biggest things is number one, the price book, the pictures and showing the savings and whatnot, and being able to help sell the maintenance agreements. And number two, the fact that there's financing options built right into the end result where they go to pay. Those are the two things I'm really looking at.
Awesome. Well, let's just kind of jump in and look at what you want to look at here.
Okay.
Price book, we'll jump right in it. As you know, you've obviously done your homework here, so very easy. We have over 1,900 custom images in this book now, all of which can be updated, manipulated, and changed by you. You can also add unlimited numbers of pictures as well. Here, another thing to note is you guys control this view. So as far as trades, if you guys are just doing HVAC, we can turn plumbing, electrical off. Your guys don't see it. They don't get into it. They work faster, less mistakes, that kind of thing here. Once we go into one of these, you'll see kind of the way we have this set up is we want to start at the top of that funnel, get to the point, being that job as quickly as absolutely possible. So next question, obviously in heating, we ask ourselves, what kind of system are we standing here looking at? So we'll go to force hot air. Then what are our most common force hot air tasks? Your ducts, your humidifiers, your venting, controllers, sparkers, blower motors, filters. And then this is, again, where we get into really where the images take hold. And also you made a great mention of our member pricing here, where we're trying to go ahead and push those service agreements. You sound like you're very aware techs are great at turning wrenches, not always the best salesman, right?
Right.
So we want to try and take that away from them. I always kind of say take it away from the tech, put it in the technology a bit here. So you always see the double pricing here. And again, that's to get that conversation moving by the customer. The customer is going to feel so much better about the service agreement, the whole program, if they feel like it's something they asked about, something they initiated, as opposed to a sales pitch coming from someone, another sales pitch. So again, we want them to ask, how do I save $90 on this blower motor? Again, we have this great planned maintenance program. It's only $125. Almost makes it a no-brainer sale at that point. So again, you see that travel everywhere with us. If we go in the individual task, obviously the image, anytime you touch an image, it goes full screen. That'll work with any image. Also, something you're going to notice in most things here, Caitlin, is diagrams as well. Obviously, your service tech doesn't need this to change a blower motor. If so, price book is the least of your problems today.
Yeah.
Right? But when the customer wants to know, why does this job cost $600? You can kind of explain what's involved, what here, and really put some value into that job with this diagram, make the customer feel better about that purchase. So those are why they're there. And again, you'll find that at almost every job, some sort of little diagram. Then the other stuff, just description. Obviously, we're going to put what we call a tech description. Make sure your guy's pulling a belt drive motor, not an ECM, direct drive, etc. Second line is kind of really the most important line here. That's always just going to tell the tech a little bit more about what's going on here. This one says that this actually includes the belt. Also, we should be trying to add a new pulley, as often as we can here. And then the last paragraph is what we call the customer description, and that's what the customer cares about. Always going to tell us what the part does, why it can wear out, and if there's aesthetics, it's going to talk about the look, the finish, things like that.
Okay.
Obviously, 2 levels of pricing. And then down here, you see the MPT. This is the minutes per task. This is the time we've assigned to do this job. We are putting out a flat rate price book. In all reality, we are doing time and material in the back end. We're putting an hourly bill out rate. We're assigning a time to do this task. We have a parts markup chart, and we're doing this time and material in the back end. We're just pushing it out here to the customer as a flat rate. You see here is where we're getting the 601.
Right. Now, are we able, when this kind of goes through, are we able to change the rates that these are at? Because looking at some of this stuff, it looks kind of high for our area. So I'm thinking that maybe your labor rate is a little high or the multiplier is a little high. I don't know what. But is that something we can change, or are these all completely flat across the board? The pricing,
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. You can change everything here. I'm sorry. I have a customer complaining online here. Let me just quick send them a message. No matter what you do, you bend over backwards for people. It's never enough some days. All right. So moving on. Sorry about that. Next really thing I want to show you here is some upsell, cross-sell features we've kind of built in. Again, let's take that away from the tech, put it in the technology. So if we go to add this to the quote, you're going to see our what we call our recommended services. Again, this is a chance to try and sell something else to the customer. Let's do a pull and clean, capacitor, filters, your service agreements, whatever you want here to try and upsell to the customer, we can put in here at this point. Again, it's going to pop up in front of the tech. The only way they cannot offer this is to just choose not to close it and not to. So again, just a neat way to pop up, kind of take that salesmanship, a little of that off their shoulders, and really just put it right in the technology here. Really go, Mrs. Jones, tilt the tablet to her and go, we also recommend you do these services today, explain why a capacitor is important, etc. Next one I want to show you here, I'm actually going to jump out. We're going to jump in the AC section just because there's no real good place to show it there. And if we go in here at the bottom, we'll always show common alternatives. Anytime you have a part or a task that has multiple different levels, we always want to give the customer options. People like options, and the great thing about it is really you're going to get here, and a lot of times people become indecisive. They're not sure if they should get the cheapest one, the most expensive one, so they'll land in the middle. Well, that's a great thing for you guys. If we can sell our middle thermostat every time instead of the cheap one, at the end of the year, that's a great move. Again, you guys control what shows up here, and you guys just kind of go in and out and decide what's here for you guys to show to your customers as far as those common alternatives as well.
Okay.
Real quick pause for any questions. If not, we'll kind of run it through a quick tech scenario, jump through, talk about that finance page, and then we'll look at the web end a little bit.
No, I'm good. Thanks.
Awesome. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to burn through this stuff quick because I know really what you want to look at here, but I would like to kind of get you everything here. Nothing like the app shutting down in the middle of a demo. So when you go out, first thing you do here with our app, and again, you may decide to do this with your House Call Pro, is our diagnosis fee. I'm sure you guys are doing some kind of diagnosis charge, trip charge, whatever you guys call it. We do something different than anybody else is going to do here. We're going to explain that this is a fee for us to come out and find the problem, not a free service. Whether you do the work or not, you're responsible for this, and we're going to give them to sign. So that way they know if they go ahead and don't do the work today, they're responsible for that $60. Hard for them to fight that they didn't know about it when you got their signature on paper that they were explained to it. So after that, we're going to go diagnose the problem. We can go in here and go to the book and go to heating, four-side air, blower wheels, and motors, find the question, everything there, or we can go to our option boards. We do have the good, better, best pricing. We can build one from scratch. For time today, we'll just go in a pre-built one, belt drive blower motor, and you can see here I have pre-built good, better, best pricing for the customer.
Okay.
Now, right before we present this, I'll go to this little here. We can put the summary of findings in here. Bad blower motor, also recommending they replace the belt, whatever you guys put for your summary of findings. And now if I go to this little eyeball guy here, that's going to make this a branded PDF quote. This has your logo, your information. It can be printed or emailed directly from this tablet to the customer, as well as saved to your cloud, so you can access it there. And it's just going to, the first page, be a summary of their options as well as the bundle savings. So we're going to give them their financing options as well here. And then your subsequent pages are just going to show the pictures and description for every option included in, or excuse me, for every task included in their option. Again, just a really nice branded PDF clean quote, print or email to the customer there. So we're done with that. They'll pick an option at some point here. We'll add it to the quote. We'll jump back, and then here's where we're doing our billing stuff. Billing, tax, pretty self-explanatory. Discounts, percent, dollar amount, again, pretty self-explanatory. And then the payments or financing, like you asked. Really, all this is a jump page. I assume you guys use Payzer, Synchrony, GreenSky, Wells Fargo, one of those four, right?
No, we go right through House Call Pro.
Oh, you go right through House Call Pro?
Yep, all of our payments go right through there.
Okay, perfect. Now, when you're taking is this a credit card payment or a finance payment? Are you guys financing this yourself?
No. Okay. I'm sorry. I guess I misunderstood that. So all of our customer payments, checks, credit card, cash, all go through House Call Pro. We don't really have anything we can use for just financing some small repair like this. We've got tons of financing options and payment plans for installations and changeouts, but we really don't have anything for this kind of a thing.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. And really what this is strictly a jump page. Whatever the big four, Pazer, Green Sky, Synchrony, Wells Fargo, work here and do these. Really, again, this is just a jump page. Whatever URL we put in the back, it'll jump to, but it'll jump to your financing page. The customer can actually apply for this finance, be approved for it, and everything right on the tablet, right in front of you on the job. The money goes into your account with whichever financer you use, and then you go ahead and do the account. They make the payments to the lender.
Okay, so this is not a Profit Rhino thing. We have to have something set up on the back end, and then you guys connect it.
Correct. You have to apply through one of these companies, whether it be Pazer, again, Green Sky, Wells Fargo, and then they'll give you a specific URL to jump to be your billing page. We'll put that URL in here so they'll go directly to your billing page, but you guys need to find a financer to put that in.
Okay, well then, yeah, it's about time.
Cool. All right. Over here, your standard, your value agreement, all you do is touch that. That's your service agreement stuff there. If they don't have a service agreement, your hotkey up here will have your diagnosis, your warranties, your service agreements. We can just search. You can also add an internal note as well. Customer has a dog that bites, whatever it may be here.
Yeah.
And then go ahead. We get an approval signature, an acceptance signature. And now, obviously, it sounds like you're going to take payment through House Call Pro. We also will obviously take payment. Cash check, you mark it down. We do work with a company called PaySimple that directly integrates with our app, so it seamlessly goes into their app. You swipe the card, it puts everything on our invoice, comes right back into Profit Rhino. Again, you can take your payment through House Call Pro. You can use any standalone app you guys want. No big deal.
Yeah, so, this is really something I'd love to do, but we're kind of committed to House Call Pro. And everything we do on House Call Pro moves right into our QuickBooks and makes things really easy on the accounting side. So I don't really see how we could use Profit Rhino and House Call Pro at the same time unless they're integrated some way.
Correct, and that's what we're going for. What we're trying to do here in the long run is basically when you go through your House Call Pro, you're going to dispatch, you're going to show up. Once you come in and do the diagnosis fee, when we started this screen, you're going to hit that invoice button. It's going to automatically open Profit Rhino app.
Hey, you're saying that we're going to do all that we normally do in House Call Pro, but then we come here when we're ready to tell the customer what needs to be done.
When the integration gets going, then yes, and it's going to be a seamless. You don't even have to close the app and open it. You're just going to hit your invoice button. It's going to automatically jump into our software. Invoicing, billing, and then when you get to this point where you want to go back to the bill, you'll hit it and you'll jump back into the House Call Pro platform and do your billing, take all your payment through there. We actually have a few two companies that we have an app similar that we've built for them already. That's what we're really looking to go for as far as the House Call Pro build. Again, that's something that's going to be a little bit in the future, but when all said and done, that's the way we're anticipating everything's going to work for you guys.
Yeah, that would be really awesome.
I agree. As a commission salesman, I'm really looking forward to something like that happening. So very good there. So really that's what you're going to see. Again, I know you're taking the payments, everything else through the other site. So really let's just kind of jump into the web end real quick here. And this is your business information page. This is just where you're going to make all your adjustments.
Okay.
Hourly bill out rate. This is going to go off that 90 minutes we looked at earlier. Here's where you set your service agreement discounts. We do also support a third rate for your nights, weekends, emergency, off-hour stuff.
Yeah.
Tax, pretty self-explanatory. Probably don't need a lecture on that. And then your parts markup here, again, something you guys are probably extremely familiar with, where your low-cost stuff, we mark up super high, price comes up, markup percentage goes down. Like anything else, you guys can come in here, adjust these metrics, do anything you guys want. You can even do a profit percentage instead of a markup percentage. So cool stuff there. And another nice thing is this drop-down box you see here, we jump in the heating section. We can do different bill out rates, different service agreements, taxes, parts across all different trades. Basically, this will operate like 9 independent price books from each other. So you can completely separate all the pricing. If you guys are into more than one trade, that's really a valuable service there. Next one here, manage book. This is just where we manage the view. You can see the last person I saw was in the heating and AC, so we turned off plumbing, electrical. If heating's your biggest thing, we can make heating number one. Now the heating book is the first thing that's going to show up on the tablet, top left. And then again, we can toggle these on and off so they show up or not. Currently, plumbing and electrical wouldn't show up on your tablet. Also, just so you know, we can do this at all the subcategory levels as well. If you're not doing oil, heat, we turn it off, etc.
Now, what about installations? How do you guys put those prices together?
Great question. Let's just jump in the installation book here, and we'll take a quick look. We have it set up in a few different ways. We have full, complete comfort systems. These are going to be your coils, your evap coil, your furnace. Then it's separated by SEER, and then after we separate it by SEER, going to 18 SEER, you can see we have it separated by the tonnage.
Okay.
If we jump in one of these, then you're going to go ahead and see in the task everything that's included with the part. I mean, it's got your whip, your thermostat, your pads, everything's there for your guys. So
Okay.
those are pre-built systems for you guys. Of course, you can come in here and edit those depending on how you guys do the installs or what you include. Also,
Now, for installations, sometimes we do oddball stuff like we'll install a solar attic fan. How do we add that? Or do you even have that in here? And like other things like a duct system. That's kind of like a customized thing. How do you add something like that on the technician side?
two ways. If it's something you guys do semi-regular, we could go in here and build a solar fan. I'll just check here. I don't think that's how you spell solar, but and you can do a search and see if the task is in here. Here's solar pressure relief, analysis control sensor, water heater. Doesn't look like we have a fan.
Attic fan. Yeah, it was down there. Solar attic fan. I don't know what ADDER is, but that looks about right. The pricing looks good. Yeah, okay, so there's something in there. Cool.
So we have a task. And if you don't have a task, again, we can go in here and you guys can build any task from scratch. Go through here and add a new task. Again, just build it from scratch, what company you want it in or what company. But
now, what about doing things on the fly? Like as the tech is at the house and he's saying, oh, you just need me to rewire this real quick and we'll charge you $50. How do you do something like that and just add it to the invoice?
Absolutely. We built what we call a grid matrix, and you'll find it here in the miscellaneous section.
Okay.
Down here, it's called grid matrix, and basically this is built for exactly that. We're going to take your bill out rate and your parts markup, and here we'll say, well, it's going to take 45 minutes to do this job, and we're going to spend $20 in parts, and this is going to build the task based on your bill out rate and your parts markup, 45 minutes and $20. According to the formula we have in the back end, it's going to be $172.
Love it.
So really, they should never be able to not bid a job on the spot. And then we can come in here and change this, to Mrs. Jones, rewiring, whatever it may be there. So
yeah, okay.
Nope. Great question. I love when people have an idea what they're talking about. It makes my day a lot easier.
Well, and here's my big deal. I really like this because we need a full price book. It's just a pain in the butt. Every job, it's, well, how much does that part cost? Okay, let's multiply it. Okay, how much time is it going to take? Okay, here's our price. Here it is, and you can do all this other stuff too, and here's your savings for signing up with our maintenance agreement. And the tech didn't have to do any of that because they won't. And that's my big deal. But how can I use this and House Call Pro without you guys being integrated yet? If I wanted to start using this, for example, tomorrow, how would I even do that?
To be perfectly honest, it's going to be a double touch. If you want to do that, you go in here in the app where we'll present everything, do the invoice, and then after the invoice goes, they settle on it, they sign it, say it's $601, that blower motor we looked at, then you're going to have to double touch, go into House Call Pro, put in Mrs. Jones, her address, her customer information bill, or her 601, so it'll go into your account.
Gotcha.
So, really the only way to do it right now is, like I said, is a double touch until we get that integrated. Now, this will go ahead, and we do have full customer invoicing, all cloud-based, so you can get all the invoices from the office. You can come in or have someone at the end of the day pull the invoices from the day, double touch them, put them into your House Call Pro for you.
Yeah.
Again, there's gonna be a double touch at some point here if you want.
Until you guys start working together.
Until we have the integration together, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Also, quick while we're here, obviously cloud-based system. It's going to show you your normal stuff here. If we go into Chad Test, all his information. Also, additional addresses. We actually just put this in on request. If you have people who are doing several units, you service several places under the same name, you can include all the addresses. Internal notes, obviously, where you see that Chad has a dog that bites. And then invoices, you can also, again, just like we talked about, come in here, see the date, the customer, the tech, And then also you can click right here. You can see the option board that was offered. Make sure your guys are offering them. If they didn't offer options, that's not going to say option. It's just going to be blank then.
Oh, really? So we'll be able to see if they actually showed the customer an option?
Absolutely. If they didn't show them an option, that's not going to show right there.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so we
So-
can tell if they're doing their job or not.
You absolutely can tell if they're doing their job or not. And then invoice here, obviously it's going to just show us a copy of the invoice that was signed by the customer. Only difference between this invoice and the one that's shown to the customer, all your task numbers will be here. You know, everything obviously has a task number, stock number. Customer doesn't need to see them, but when you look at them in the office, you'll see them just to, again, help rectify your paperwork stuff.
Right, okay. Okay.
Another cool thing on options is if we go here to the options, this is where your option boards are held, those good, better, best options or quotes. You can come in here, obviously modify these, change them, build your own, but this tech option list right here will show you any board that they built in the field. So if the option board we have pre-built for that blower motor didn't quite fit that job and they built one, you'll be able to see it here. You'll be able to see Tech 1 built this board, Tech 2 built this board. Again, making sure they do what they're supposed to be doing out there in the field. And B, if you get somebody who really takes to this and builds really good option boards, you can come in here, find that option board, and share it with every other tablet on the system. So every tech can open that option board when they go into somebody's house, which again, if you really find an all-star, that's a big deal.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
Awesome. Task, real quick, we'll hit this one. This is just where we're going to make any kind of updates or changes to anything. Get in here, is that blower motor we just looked at. All right, and this is, again, change any of the descriptions here. Change your labor time. We asked about this. This is where we can change this labor time. If you think it's a little hot, we can change it to 80.
Okay.
Keep in mind when you're looking at labor times, we purposely built in extra time in every single task for sales, setup, cleanup, that kind of stuff. So you're paid for your actual customer-facing time, not just the wrench time.
Okay.
So keep that in mind. And then also down here is what's included. Another great thing about this flat rate program, we signed them just this blower motor task for $601, but we actually sold them a belt and a capacitor because they needed them. They're just too cheap to actually buy them. And then you'll always see these miscellaneous parts here, nuts, bolts, washers, screws, that kind of stuff. You can imagine if we put all that in standard metric, the enormous amount of clutter it is. So I think anything under 15 cents a piece is just a miscellaneous part. You can see these are 5 for 60. So again, really cool. And if you want to add parts, you can add parts. Obviously, the trash can take parts away. So that's just how you're going to adjust that stuff. Keep your tasks up and down. Next one is calculations. You might find this interesting as well. This is going to show you what the parts cost you, what you sold the parts to the customer for, what the labor cost you, what you sold the labor to the customer for, and based on your bill out rate, which one of the 3 rates we use is going to tell you what you made in dollars or in profit percentage. Really cool spot check just to make sure you're where you want to be on your jobs.
Yep. Okay.
Make sure, if this is 20%, we need to mix the numbers. If this is 80%, well, maybe we need to relook at the numbers as well. So,
yeah. Well, this also makes it really easy to reorder because most of the time we'll put in, like here, we'll put in blower motor and he'll put something else with it that just goes with it. But I didn't know that. And so when we're trying to reorder stuff, I'm like, oh, we just need a blower motor. But this shows everything that went along with it, even down to the 15-cent piece. So
exactly, and it has a task number. So you'll know that task number 600003 takes a blower motor, a capacitor, a belt, and
all
it's just
that
going to say
stuff.
free miscellaneous. So yeah, exactly. So for your inventory, you'll know that all that stuff went out the door.
Okay, that's really cool. Okay.
So good stuff there. Categories. This one is not nearly as cool. This just tells us where we found it in the book. It's in the heating, forced hot air, blower wheels, and motors. Pretty simple. We can also assign it to another category. If we want to put it in another category, we can do that there. Marketing is where we're going to do those upsells and cross-sells. Here's those cross-sells that popped up. If you want to add a task, all you have to do is add a task, search through the 3,800 tasks, find the one you want, hit the button. Now that'll show up across. Upsell tasks, these are the ones we jumped in thermostats to look at. Again, same deal. Just turn them on and off as you guys would like. Next one is images. This is where you can just change any images. You can also change the order they appear with the drop-down boxes here. And then a really cool thing is this is connected with Google Images. So if you want to change your images, update images, all you have to do is put in any word, stock numbers, part numbers, all work. Find the photo you like, grab it, crop it, upload it, right in your price book. in a
Interesting.
second. So
Okay.
really cool. It's a great thing if you want to, rebrand your stuff. You can put in Delta Faucet A1.
Well,
It's gonna bring
now
up a
here's
picture
one
of it.
thing I'm thinking about is that especially for installations, we sell one particular brand. So we'd like to probably have pictures of that brand in all of these. Is that something we can ask you guys to do, or do we have to go one by one and change all the images on all of those?
That's something we will do to a point. A lot of times what we'll do, reach out to your, whether it's Train, Rude, Lennox, ask them if they have an image file. They almost always will give it to you because it's free advertising for their products.
Right.
With a big image file with all of them, a lot of times we can mass update them to the task, easy for you. Otherwise, again, for full disclosure, just for time's sake and setup sake, we don't go through thousands of images and change them for folks. So that'd be something that you guys would be on.
Okay.
And last one here is accounting. Again, all that stuff was going to go through House Call Pro. Full disclosure, it'll say if it pays commission, yes or no. Taxable, yes or no. Account is what bucket you want. So your heating goes to one spot, your AC goes to another spot. Again, either way we do it, an integration or a double touch, House Call Pro is going to do your accounting stuff. So you're not going to really see this tab, but I don't like to skip a tab that says accounting either. So
Okay.
any questions there in the task section?
No.
Awesome. We'll hit parts quick. Only thing to know about parts, instead of going through 2,900 parts with you, we'll just have you get a Excel sheet of your parts list from your distributor, your manufacturer, how many you have. We'll load that in here.
Awesome.
That way, everything's priced correctly. Everything's got the names you like. And when we want to redo everything in the next quarter, all we have to do is get a new list, take the old one out, put the new one in. All your prices are updated.
Okay, cool. And it will also show the correct picture of that part as well?
We don't have pictures of parts. All your parts are just going to be words. We only have the pictures of the tasks.
Oh, okay. I got you.
So,
I got you.
Yep. So under circuit breaker, it's not going to be a picture of a circuit breaker. That'll be in the task, and the circuit breaker will just be in the part.
Okay.
One thing you'll find really cool is we built this update cost by product line. Copper, refrigerant.
So that's where we can say our costs increased by 12% this year, and it increases all our costs across the board.
Correct.
Because that's one of our biggest pain points is we're like, well, I think this price changed.
So like you see here, we can put in copper. Even last week, it went up 5%. Update it. It's going to update every piece of copper in your book by 5%. Price it accordingly to whatever parts margin chart we have on that first page.
Oh, okay.
So really cool mass updates. Like you said, you're doing one line of products. Say it's Lennox. Lennox comes out and says we're doing a 7% increase across the board. We just come in here, put in the word Lennox, put in 7, update it. You just updated the entire book.
Okay.
Again, really easy stuff for you guys to manage this internally. Here's your option boards. We already hit this. We talked about this one. How you can make new ones, see what you guys have built in the field, modify our own. Customers, also we hit here quick with the CHAD test. Again, we'll just run through it. Notes, additional addresses, invoices here. And then the next one you see here is also invoices. Again, I find this extremely redundant. I don't know why they did it this way. But basically, here's CHAD test. Here's the same invoices. They're going to take you to exactly the same place. One gets you to customer information faster. One gets you to invoices faster. Again, both end up in the same place. So easy enough there. And then last one is reports. And again, this is just where we're going to run any kind of reports from. You want to pull a report out about your tasks, about what your techs did that day, a task report so you can do inventory. This is where we'll do all that. Also, this is where we'll import your parts. You guys won't need to import customers. We're going to go through House Call Pro. We can do that here. And then everything you pull out of here is going to come in an Excel sheet format unless we pre-format it here to the right, which we can for QuickBooks. I'm sure you've heard ServiceTitan, Successware, Desco, Field Edge, all these places that we currently integrate with. You can pull the information out to send there. So again, just general reporting where that's going to come from as well. Then also, I'll show you this because this is supposed to go live when we go with House Call Pro as well. ServiceTitan is actually the first and only one we've done this with, but it's a direct API integration. So you just have an API key there after you make all your changes. You hit OK. 15 seconds later, it's all live in your platform for you.
Okay.
There's no file transfers, nothing like that. Simple one touch to get it done.
Cool. Okay.
Cool. That's really all I have for you here. Any questions on this stuff? If not, we'll talk quick about the success meeting, a little bit about the pricing. Honestly, I don't know what the pricing is going to be when we have the integration, so that's going to be a loose conversation. But one thing we do want to talk about is if you guys decide to go with us, is our success program. We're not just going to hand this to you and tell you good luck. You don't change the pictures, change the prices, have a blast. For lack of a better word, this is really a true hand-holding process where we're going to really walk you through everything, teach you how to make all these changes in the background. You're going to see we're actually going to train your managers and your tech. We'll bring them in on webinars, teach them how to use those upsells, cross-sells, all that stuff so they can really maximize the system here.
Okay.
Always, it's technology. Always give it a week to make sure it's not going to freeze, bug, that kind of stuff. And then go live when you guys are ready. Again, just something to keep in mind. It is a true, 3 to 4 week process to get this up and running. And really, the only thing that really takes it longer is availability for meetings.
Okay.
If you're available for the meetings, this is going to go right on track. If not, obviously, it's going to take longer. Big things though here, you'll see your install meeting, just to hit on some stuff you asked about. This is where we'll make sure we have that branded correctly for you guys. We'll help you with some images there, at least get you started, get you on the way so you guys can correct it. Also, we'll do a full audit, and that's where we're going to make sure we have the parts prices right, the bill out rate right for you guys. You had mentioned that the prices look a little different. So again, we're going to get all that stuff ready for you guys. And the reason we do that is because we don't do any kind of term contract. You guys aren't customers for a month, a year, a day, anything like that. You're always month to month from day one. So we do an upfront charge for the setup, the training, as you can see on the screen now. It's $12.99. And then also we charge $55 per month per user. That's what we charge for a standalone product. For other services like Service Titan, we have a different billing model. So again, I'm not exactly sure where it's going to fall when it goes. It's going to probably either be $55 a user or $179 a company. Those
Okay.
are our two pricing models now. I think they're going to keep it somewhere close to that.
Okay.
And again, really, that's all I have for you, Caitlin. Unless you have any questions, comments, anything you want to jump back and take another look at.
If we were to start with you guys before you were integrated with House Call Pro and we paid for this training and we're paying monthly, are we going to have to pay again for training and all of that once it gets integrated with House Call Pro, or are we done?
Absolutely not. You're done. That's one time. The book is set up. Even if you go to Field Edge, you decide to go to Service Titan in 2 years, the price book will go with you.
Okay.
It's your price book. You just tell us where to send it. Send it to our platform, to House Call, SimPro, Service Titan, whatever. Yep, it's done and up and ready. You just tell us where to start sending it.
Now, do you offer discounts if you're part of the Service Roundtable?
I do. You're getting there here. Any of those groups down there give you a discount of $200.
Okay.
So I get the success training to $10.99. Also, I believe we are on the Service Roundtable rebate list.
Oh, awesome.
So now listen, if you're familiar with that list, you know it changes sometimes daily and hourly as far as companies on there and discounts. I'm 99% sure we're going to be on there. I don't know what the discount level is, but you should be able to get some kind of rebate coming back through Service Roundtable as well.
Okay, cool. That would be awesome.
So very cool. And one last thing as far as pricing to go over with you, obviously with a 4-week training, $55 per user. What we normally do is if we're in the beginning of the month, we'll just give you the whole month of users for free. Obviously, so you don't have to pay for a month of users that you're training. If you sign up like this time of year, what we do is we'll just give you the rest of the month for free. We'll do $1 a user for the month of April is the next month, I guess, for April.
Yeah.
And then the 55, sorry, it's been one heck of a day. And then the 55 would start the following month, which would be May. Again, it's the right thing to do to not make you pay for techs that aren't even in the field going yet. So
Okay.
just keep that in mind too. We're not going to really pile on the fees there until you guys are up and going.
Okay, sounds good.
Cool. All right. Again, I'll just quick stop, see if there's any questions, comments. If not, we're all set. I'll just shoot you a quick email when we're done with my contact info if you have any questions. And then I'll just kind of follow up if I haven't heard back from you in a bit.
Okay, no, that sounds good. I'm good for now.
Awesome. Well, hey, great. I appreciate your time today. Again, if you have any questions, I'll send my info. Just reach right out. And I'm sure we'll talk again soon.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Caitlin.
Bye.
Bye.